Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our weekly webinar. Yes, I am back. It's nice to see you guys again. It's been a hectic little time period for me. I've been to Durban, I've been to Cape Town. The guys on Durban, how's it? And the guys in Cape Town, they're naughty. Yeah, so I've been traveling a little bit with the team so we can introduce a bit more and support. So we've got another week or two to go before as well for here in the Gauteng area, where we've got quite a bit of expos and stuff that we are busy with, that I'm involved with. But anyway, so today we are going to be discussing our HIK Pro. So we're going to carry on with the second portion. I've got a little video here just to explain a bit more that we're going to go through. I'm going to try and speed up the process regarding this. This is a very lengthy topic, but yeah, we're going to give it our all. Right. So just to start off with that, let's see. There we go. So for whatever reason, our recording is not saying anything. So I just want to change that quickly. My apologies. Where would that be? For the sound. Share the sound. Jesus, start.
Simply type the questions or keywords you want to ask. Here, you will immediately receive an automatic reply with relevant information. Contact and get support on HIK ePartner app. Have questions about Hikvision's products or solutions? Want to contact Hikvision and get support? There are different ways to get support on HIK ePartner. How to document and video, chatbot, online support case, and contact us. At HIK ePartner, you can find various how-to documents and videos with rich instructions for product installation, configuration, and operation. You can also use the chat box to get quick self-help Q&A services. Simply type the questions or keywords you want to ask. Here, you will immediately receive an automatic reply with relevant information. If you come across problems when using Hikvision's products, you can use the online support case to seek professional technical support services. Scan the label or input the serial number of the device, then describe your problem clearly. We will provide you with solutions as soon as possible. You can also check your case status and view the handling progress in real time. Want to get services from Hikvision's customer center or a sales representative? Go to the Contact Us page. Here you can find all the relevant information. Feel free to contact us. All right, that's all about getting support in HIK ePartner. Hope this video is helpful for you. HIK ePartner, Security Business Assistant in the palm of your hand.
All right, so yes, we're on the HIK Pro Connect section. The difference is that we also want to showcase the e-partnership. E-partnership will help your business a bit more and create a little bit more awareness of that. So that's why we are presenting that as well. So moving on. So regarding our second part that we are discussing on the HIK Pro Connect, we are going to jump straight into that second part for the device manager. Or the device management. So we're going to go through quite a few of the different options. So we're going to look at the device remote configuration, the IP remote configuration, the live view, the playbacks, everything to do with the Pro Connect itself, the HIK Pro Connect. So we're going to go through all those little options. Can it show my laser? Where's my laser? Ha! I like my laser. Right. So we're going to go through all of that. Okay. Next up, we're going to be discussing the basic. So let's quickly go into that. So regarding the basic, the nice thing is a lot of you are familiar with the VCA function where we can also go into the cameras remotely. So to remote access the cameras through the HIK Connect cloud, you can do the exact same thing. So underneath the HIK Pro Connect through the cloud, you have that capability of also doing that. So the HIK Pro Connect on your mobile phone or on the desktop itself, you have the capability of also logging in remotely. So normal configuration would be if you go remote, you'll have that function where you can go onto the camera, change the brightness, change whatever mood that you want. If you want the overlay to show the time and date or the camera name, you also your scheduling time, what is your VCA function for that scheduling time. So this will give you that capability as well. Right, and then moving on to that itself, just the same thing regarding the IP cameras. So on the HIK Pro Connect, you would be able to go to those specific devices itself on your camera, on your NVR, through your NVR. So we have that virtual LAN that you can enable as well, that gives you that permission. So through that permission, we have the quick ability to reboot the camera if necessary. We can change anything of those features on the camera, so which is a very nice access point to be able to do that. Everything from a remote point of view. So if you are an installer or you are a certain company, this will give you the capability of logging into that camera and changing certain things, especially when it comes to certain environments. So when the guys do the installation, the environment for during the day is not always the same as night. Sometimes it could be something else. Maybe they installed it on a cloudy day and now all of a sudden it's a very bright summer day and that light is just shining through from outside into the building, and then you have that overexposure and you don't want that. So then it looks like the picture is dark, and then you can enable it. So for the wide dynamic range, so this gives you that capability of doing it remotely. Right, and the same goes for the configuration on the AX Pro. So on the AX Pro itself, we have that capability of doing a very similar setup. So under that setup, I'm looking at the big screen because my little screen that I've got here is really small. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Can I? Not really that bigger, but okay. Right, so going through it, you select your basic configuration on that device that you would like to. Under that, the nice thing is about this is you can arm multiple different devices at the same time. So in South Africa, it says there for an ARC company, but I think it's kind of tricky. Reason being for the rules and regulations for certain ARC companies, that is the Arm Response Center. They shouldn't be arming and disarming clients' alarm systems. That needs to be done by a client itself. So let's replace that with a monitoring company or for an actual branch. So you have a line of 20 different shops all over South Africa, and you don't want them to arm. You as a center for that company want to arm all those alarm systems. So you're still the end user in brackets. You're not really an arm response company. This will give you the capability of arming up to 500 AX Pro alarm systems as a group. So you arm all of them one time. And then you can even see the monitoring of that, where those devices and what's happening, how many of them arm, how many of them didn't arm, all that little report for that information, which is a nice little feature. Next up is very similar, is when you use that interface itself. So let's just quickly go through that. So it's the same procedure as well. You can have up to 100 AX Pros that you can basically access itself. So when we mean access itself, you basically go in and you can change the arming schedule. You can basically change multiple different notifications or templates that you can set up. So you can save up to 5 templates that you can set up. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to configure that itself and select which template you want. So you have up to 1,000 of them, and you have 5 different templates that you can save. So which makes it a lot easier for any company that monitors their own security itself. All right. So next up is just to go through that linkage itself. So we have that capability of adding that linkages as well. So the nice thing is multiple the devices now for the alarm system or access control have the capability of linking the alarm system to a camera or the camera to alarm system, vice versa. So this gives us the capability of doing that remotely itself as an installer. So you have those quick 3 guides that you can go through, either to the device itself, to link certain channels, and to set certain parameters itself. So a very easy, straightforward functionality for that you can select, and then you can go through and you can choose your options. So a nice little feature there. All right. Let's just go to that. So to showcase all of that. So the next is on that LAN bandwidth itself. So for that recording schedules, you can also do that as well. So you have up to 30 cameras that you can set that up with for those different schedules. Again, you have the template up to 5 devices that you can do. So you can do multiple sites with that. So that gives you that capability again. So you select what time and dates you want. You can select a recording, and you can basically pull it through to the camera or the NVRs itself. So, which is a very nice feature as well for remote configuration. All right. Then next up is also for the firmware update. So remember, we're going through different channels there. So it's not all in sequence, but we're just showing all the different new features and all the nice features about why we recommend HIK Pro Connect. So again, HIK Pro Connect is there for the end installer. So the installing company will be able to use that as a tool. So that tool will be able to give you that capability of changing certain settings when you are not on site and when you are on site, etc. So it's not HIK Connect. HIK Connect is mostly for the end user. So you want to basically set up everything and help your client, or your client is changing certain options, or he's saying, listen, I don't want you to maybe change this or remove that camera or whatever the case is, then you can have remote configuration regarding that. But if we need to update firmware, so this is very important. So a lot of you might know that there are certain breaches. So yes, there are certain security breaches. That's why we require you to update the firmware on a regular basis to make sure that you don't have those breaches. The last breach that we had now was on our PTZs, and it's on an old model, a model that we actually don't really popular in South Africa, but needlessly to say that the person had a very easy same password for everything. So it's like obvious. If the person has access to your network, your internal network, then you are already at risk. It's nothing to do with our cameras or our devices that is not secured. It's only secure enough according to what the passwords were set up. It's only secure enough compared to your firewall on your own internal network. We, as a company, as Hikvision, don't have control over that. So the only thing that we do have control over is by telling you to please update your firmware, make sure that everything is secure, make sure that your password is correct. Right. So this little tool is on the HIK Pro Connect itself. The nice thing about this little tool, why is it not showing you on that page? Let's see. There. Go there. Oh no. Skip pages. My PPT crashed on me. Okay. So while it's crashing, I'm going to show you that part there. So we'll carry on. So over there, you'll be able to, oh, there we go. It's back again. Let's see, laser, pointer. Okay. Anyway, so it's stuck a little bit there, but it's fine. It's one of those things. So under that itself, you'll be able to put the serial number of that device, and you would be able to see if there's any update available for that device. So it will show you what is those updates. So that's a very nice tool for any installing company, especially when it comes to certain firmware. You want to make sure that everything is up to date and that everything has been configured. So that gives you a nice option. So while it's buffering there, as you can see, it is buffering. So I don't know why. I'm going to skip to the next page while it's buffering. Can I go back? No. There we go. Anyway, so while it's buffering there, also remember regarding the different models that you have. So on the different models that you have, underneath it, it will tell you what the firmware is. Next to the firmware, it will tell you what build. The build is very important. The build will tell you what year, which day, which month, and in which date. So that will give you an indication as well. So when you take the serial number of that specific device and you go in and you search that serial number, it will tell you that that's the product and this is the latest firmware for that. So this gives you the capability of then selecting that firmware and updating that device with the latest firmware. So very nice little feature. Go to the next page. Doesn't want to. All right, so I can't showcase that little page. I don't know why it's not going to the next one. Okay, so while it's loading, let's see. Come on, PPT, work with me today. It's one of those big PPTs with a bit of videos in it. So yeah, these things happen. Okay, so next up is obviously the live view. So the nice thing is you can select that device, and on that device is very similar to according to what's on your NVR itself. So you have that capability of capturing, doing your remote configuration, doing a live view, playback, etc. So very nice little feature. So it gives you that capability of live viewing that actual camera and going through all the normal options. Okay. So next up is the playback. Playback is very similar. Again, you have that option to select. You can also download a 2-minute video of that playback to your device that you are working with, whether it's your phone or your laptop or through the actual software. So it gives you that capability, which is a very nice feature, again, remotely. Next up is to apply certain applications for those devices. So on the HIK Connect, it's the same for time schedule. So let's just quickly have a look at that. So here we have a video intercom device itself. So under that video intercom device, we can select it, we can link it, we can do so much more with that configuration. So it gives us that option to be able to do that live view, playback, etc. So and apply all those changes as well remotely. Let me see. The next up is our password reset. So the nice thing about this is once you go onto your HIK Connect app itself, through the Pro Connect as an installer, your client is phoning you and you are offsite. And the client says, listen, I can't get in. Can you reset my password? I forgot. I changed it, but I forgot. Then you say, okay, fine. No problem, sir. We can change that for you. So this gives you the capability of obviously remotely through the network, offsite itself, to reset that password. I've got a little video where we're going to explain that a little bit better on the mobile side. And also you can configure most of the devices except the AX Pro. The AX Pro has an actual reset password button on the device. Yes, I know all the other products do, but because of this specific device for the alarm purposes, it's on the device itself for security reasons. Okay, so we can also do it on site as well. So once we do it on site, it's the same principle, it's the same procedure, everything. So we're going to go through the first little video on the mobile site, and then we'll go through. I think it will be better understood if we, where's the mouse? If we go through the actual portal side. So let's just quickly go through that. It's going to play that video. I just want to make sure that the video is a little bit cropped. It is on a mobile phone. So again, this is now basically offsite itself. So it gives you that capability with the little mouse. So as an installer, basically you would go onto your app, open the site that you have, go to that device itself, go to the settings, little dots here on the top, go to password reset, and then you are saying you are off-site. So once you select that, it will basically tell you also that the next 24 hours that verification will be. And then on the client's device, right, it will get a message, and under that message itself, and make sure that your version is version 4.15 and above on your HIK Connect app. The message will come through, you'll get that notification. The notification will tell you reset the password. Once you select that device, click on the password reset, it will ask you enter the new password. Simple, easy, straightforward. I think for most monitoring companies or installing companies, this is just a bonus point. So now that password has been reset, and the same goes for on-site. On-site is a lot better. On-site will be direct, so you don't have to wait for that notification and wait for that verification to reset the password because you're in the same network. Again, once you select it from your side as an installer, so on your HIK Pro Connect on your phone, you select that device, you go to those little three dots, you say password reset, you say on-site, because you're in the same LAN network. That's immediate. You don't have to wait. So the client is standing next to you with his phone, the message gets sent, he has up to 5 minutes to respond on that. So on the owner's phone, on the HIK Connect app, not the Pro Connect, he goes onto that device. Again, make sure about that version. Once that has been sorted out, you can go onto that notification under the cloud. So that notification will come through. You select it, again, select the device, enter the new password. Simple, easy, straightforward. You don't have to email us. You don't have to ask us. This has been more proactive and faster service for your client. So we're going to quickly show it a little bit bigger so we can go through that bit more. There is no sound. My apologies. I think there's no sound. Yeah, there is no sound. So same principle, offsite. So offsite was when we are not in the same network. As an installer, you go onto your app. Under your app, you select your device. Under that device, you go to that little dots, go to password reset. You say that you are offsite. You are not in the same network range. Once you have selected it, it will tell you that you have 24 hours and it's sending it through to that client. All right, so now the client will open up his mobile app. Again, reminder that the app needs to be updated. So once he gets the message, he goes onto it, select the device, and then select password reset. Done. Okay, so offsite, it's going to take some time for that verification to come through, and on-site is like immediate, and you have 5 minutes to be able to complete that, which is straightforward, very easy. I'm not going to go too far down that. Right, moving on. Next up is our HIK Pro Connector box. All right, so a lot of people still confused with this box. The HIK Pro Connect is a little box device itself. That little box gets plugged into the same LAN network. There we go. Same LAN network. Where's my little laser? Let's make it nice and red. Same LAN network, right? Once you plugged it in, you have the capability of having a certain amount of channels. There's certain options, certain packages, etc. So when it comes to device itself, for the monitoring of the devices, you have up to 16 channels. So whether you have NVR, a camera, an alarm panel, etc., so per channel, right? So as an example, so this gives you that capability of using that proxy device itself. That proxy device will be able to allow you to record and store that information on the cloud box, not on the physical device. Through that device, it will go to the cloud-based proxy itself for the HIK Pro Connect box. So it will be stored on the cloud. Okay. Right. These are the following devices that are compatible with this proxy itself. So under the DVRs is the 71 series, the 72 series, and the different versions. Again, those versions are very important. Under NVRs, it will be the 71, the 76, the 77, and then also on the access control, again, those versions. All right. Then we have the linkages, right? So linkages gives us the capability of linking certain devices with certain devices. We have up to 6 different templates that we can basically modify that helps installers, right? And up to 10 devices itself that we can basically have that linkages rules with. So basically what that means is you have one camera that you can link to 10 different devices. So you can maybe have it linked to an alarm panel. You can have it linked to another camera. You can have it linked to a PTZ. You can have it linked to maybe an IP speaker. You can so on, up to 10. So as you can see on this little picture, this is the options. And not just that, also on the linkage, you can customize the days. You can say which days, you can say from what time to what time. So it gives you all that capability of adding that linkage rules remotely. So if the client is saying, listen, I'm changing things around, I don't want the camera to start recording when we're at the swimming pool anymore, because it's now summertime, then you can remotely change that linkage or link it up, or whatever the case might be. It's up to you, which is a nice feature. So multiple different devices. So you can see, as you can see, for the linkages from your NVR to your cameras, recordings, the capturing. The same goes for when somebody's trying to break in, your break-in time, and then it will alert your alarm sensor, the sirens. So there's multiple ways that you can do that for the linkages. Right, under the cloud side. So the cloud side, this is that little box. So let's just quickly go through this. All right. So you have your NVR, your DVR, yeah, you have your cameras. Then it goes to your switch or your router or your network or whatever the case might be. And then also you have your standalone cameras. So you can choose what you would like, right? So that will get pulled into the HIK Pro Connect box. The Pro Connect box will go through to the network, to the cloud, and from the cloud to multiple different devices. Okay, so that's just the overview itself. So that box needs to be in the same network. It does not record all these things onto the box. It uses the box as a tool to take it directly to the cloud, and from the cloud to the devices. All right, so let's quickly have a look at this little video just to explain that a bit better. I think there might be sound.
HIK Pro Connect box is a box connected to the back-end device or camera to transcode video to a suitable definition and then transmit it on the cloud. It has compact design, easy installation, and high compatibility. You can add HIK Pro Connect box through the same way as any other devices. The HIK Pro Connect box will be shown and can be configured in both device main page and.
All right, guys, give me a second. Let me change that around because I want you guys to see that a bit better. Let's see. I would be able to make it bigger. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let's try that. Okay. Come on. Don't crash on me now. Okay.
Box is a box connected to the back-end device or camera to transcode video to a suitable definition and then transmit it on the cloud. It has compact design, easy installation, and high compatibility. You can add HIK Pro Connect box.
So it supports up to 8 channels at 2 megapixels at 30 frames per second.
The
so
HIK
8
Pro
cameras
Connect box
can
will
be
be
added
shown
into
and
it.
can be configured in both device main page and cloud storage service page. To add a network camera which supports the cloud storage in the HIK Pro Connect box, you can click the box and click the Edit button in the prompt window on the right side, or you can find the Activate Cloud Storage Service button in the Cloud Storage Service folder to trigger the same configuration page. Click Add Channel to add a new monitor device under the box. The the box will automatically find compatible and free devices within the same LAN. You should click on the channel of device in case that, for example, an NVR has many channels connected with different cameras. The IP and port will also be automatically acquired from the chosen devices. All you should do is assign or import the username and corresponding password to the monitored devices. Click OK to finish the adding procedure. After linked the device with the box, you have to activate the service. There are two ways to activate the service, either through the purchased service package bound with your account, or through the activating service key. The available package will only be shown if you have already purchased the service package. Then, click OK to finish the activate process. Of course, if you want to renew the service with the purchased package, you can click the Renew button in the original location to renew the service. Once you have activated the service, this channel will also be enabled, and you can freely switch the device you want in the LAN. The switching procedure is identical with the adding procedure. You can change definition according to the available bandwidth and bandwidth required for all added devices. That is, under certain available bandwidth, if you want to add more channel and devices in this HIK box, you have to shrink the definition to decrease the bandwidth occupied by single camera. After modification, the required bandwidth certainly drops, and you can add more devices. To test the available bandwidth, you can click Cancel to return to the former page and click the Test button. It will usually take 1 to 2 minutes to give the test report. After the test finishes, the result and report will be given below, indicating the upstream rate and the recommendation for the channel collocation. In this case, the 10 megabits rate can afford 13 channels with high definition and 21 channels with standard definition. The information will be updated accordingly in the configuration page. After the adding procedure finishes, you can also set smart events like motion detection, intrusion, line crossing here. Including the basic events like motion detection, video tampering, and a smart event like intrusion detection and the line crossing detection, varying from devices to devices. Click Save to finish the configuration steps in HIK-Connect, and then you can enjoy the features in the HIK-Connect app. In the HIK-Connect app, you can view the stored video in the period of time within your purchased package, and can view this video in up to 8 times speed.
Okay, all right. Let me just open up this again and share it with you guys. There we go. All right. So as you mentioned there's that capability of changing the different settings. It depends on what your application is. Again, this device is designed for people that do have like older models of NVRs or you know, all the firmware of devices that really can't be updated, but they still need to store it for emergency purposes. So a lot of sites will have camera system and they're not going to upgrade now, and it's an old DVR or old NVR and etc. But they need to cover important areas for in case they do break in or hold the people up hostage and they remove the DVR or the NVR and they damage it. So now you have no footage of seeing how they look like. This gives you that capability of storing that backup for that emergency purposes, where it's not on the site. Remember, the device, the HIK Pro Connect device, will be on the site, yes, but this is just a link between the cloud storage. All right. So again, 16 channels, like you mentioned, and again, this is more for devices, the older devices, etc., for CCTV and non-CCTV. The Pro Connect itself, the little box, can link up to 8 channels itself. All right. So it depends on how you do that settings itself for your stream that you need. I would say maybe entrance points and till areas for any business, or any entry exit where you can actually see their faces or vehicles or stuff like that for whatever purposes for emergency. Right. Moving on regarding that same for that events itself, once you have certain events, you can pull it through. You can, like you mentioned, change that schedules, the smart event, draw the lines, draw the intrusions that you want, and then you can go back and you can view that. You can change up the speed up to 8 times to fast forward if you want to, but it will show you the lines of that movements if you have done the setup. Okay. Right. Next up is the cloud networking. Oh, so excited. Oh, I'm going to fall asleep. No, I'm joking. All right. Let's not fall asleep, guys. We're almost done. We can do this. This is really interesting. I know it's a lot of information, but for any company that does installation, this is a really good tool to use. Right. So from the installer itself, you can monitor the switches on our smart switches. So under the smart switches itself, it has different network protocols that we can have. So under the protocols itself, we can look at block ports, we can inform the client, we can look at if there's an IP conflict, maybe there's another company there that plugged in something to our network, and now it's creating a conflict. You can tell the client, listen, I see there is a conflict, I see the people are there, etc., etc. So this gives you that capability. Not just that, also online upgrades that will save you a lot more time, right? So let's just quickly go through that a little bit more to show you that guide. This is the type of image that you're going to be seeing. So this is your main switch that you can name. You can take it to multiple different switches. You can have multiple different devices. Not just that, you can see if there's any bad conflict between it, if the line is dead, if there's any, communication issues. So monitoring, the health monitoring through your HIK Pro Connect on the cloud network status itself. So a very nice little feature. So you don't have to view the client's cameras. You can also do this through your mobile phone. You don't have to view the client's cameras. You can just view the health monitoring of it. So you can ask permission and then send it through on the HIK Connect app on the client side. You will get the message, oh, the person wants to look at my network. You can approve it. This is not to look at the client's network and such, it's to look at the health network itself to make sure that all the devices are correctly. If you pick up that there is a camera that's maybe down or there's something that went wrong, it will send you a notification as the installer on your HIK Pro Connect. Then you can contact your client and ask him, sir, I see that there's a camera down. Is there a problem? Would you like me to come out? So being proactive, creating more work for you, having more control. Right. So under the real-time data switch itself, so this gives you the capability of, where's the next page? There we go. Gives you that capability to restart that port, to clear the alarm, to look at what ports are available. So you can tell the client maybe remotely or maybe to that company, I see that there's a problem on port 14. Would you do me a favor, pull out the cable and put it into 12. If it still goes red, then there's something else that's wrong. So this will give you that capability of doing that. And you can also do it through your mobile app itself. So it gives you that same setup. It will tell you what the bandwidth is. It will tell you, oof, I see that there's too much activity all over the show. So a lot of the guys do make the mistake. They put in the cameras. Let's say it's 8 cameras for a specific business. Let's call it a event business itself. So they have different events. So now they do the installation, they test everything, they look at the bandwidth. Okay, everything is fine. Now that there's more activity, so much more for the camera to monitor and concentrate on, the bandwidth gets exceeded. So now with this, you'll have the capability of changing those bandwidths, remotely log in, reset certain ports, or redirect certain cameras or certain devices. Right. By doing that, again, we need the updated version of the software for HIK Pro Connect itself. If it's the end user, we need to make sure that he's got the latest version of HIK Connect itself. And then if you are using smart switches, make sure you have the right models of smart switches. and also make sure that the firmware is the correct firmware on it. Right. So now, health monitoring itself. So the nice thing about the HIK Pro Connect is you can monitor multiple different devices on the health monitoring. So it will send you alerts. So every day you can check up, you can see what's going on. And there my PPT just started crashing on me again. So again, this helps any installer by setting all that up and then basically linking it to the client's device. So you don't have to physically look at the video footages or see when he arms or disarm. You're more concerned about the health monitoring. So it gives you that capability. Not just that, as an installer, you can have one admin, 4 different installers. And for the first setup, you have gifts. But not just that, there's rewards on the Pro Connect. So go through that rewards. There's an actual guide on the Pro Connect to look at the rewards. The more devices you add, the more clients you add through the Pro Connect to HIK Connect itself, the more clients you add onto your list, the more that you'll give different gifts and different prizes and stuff like that. And then you can use that to maybe have cloud storage, maybe apply for Pro Connect boxes, all those type of things. So there's a lot more. Go through those little features, see what they are. They're really nice. Okay. So under that health monitoring, again, you can see those devices, you can see the power stages, you can see the network stages, what was the time, if there's the online, offline, whatever the case is. You can export this also to different formats, from XL to CSV to PDF. You can export that. So we're going to have a little video here quickly to show you how that health monitoring works. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. There we go. I know it's small.
Hello everyone, this video will introduce health monitoring function of HIK Pro Connect. There are 3 parts in this module: view status of devices and outsides.
I think we need to make it bigger. Don't you guys think we need to make it bigger? I think we need to make it bigger. So let's make it quickly bigger. Make it bigger. All right, excuse me. Okay, let's see if we can make it bigger that way. Ah. That might help. There we go, now we all can see.
Hello everyone, this video will introduce health monitoring function of HIK Pro Connect. There are 3 parts in this module: view status of devices and outsides, view status of devices in specific site, and exception center. Click Health Monitoring, Health Status on navigation panel to enter Health Monitoring page, and then select Outsides from the site list. For installer, you can view the status of each device type in outsides which has been assigned to you. For installer and admin, you can view status of each device type in all the sites. You can view the total number and abnormal number of each type of devices. Including device, you can view status including network status, the number of offline cameras, video signal, storage status, overrating recording status, HDD usage, last inspected time, etc. You can hover the cursor over device name to view its device type and device version. Click Remote Configuration to remotely configure device parameters. Click Refresh in the Operation column to inspect select encoding device manually. Click Live View and then select Cameras to live view the video. Click Refresh to inspect all encoding devices and outsides. If you check Abnormal Only, it will display abnormal devices only. Check Display Authorized Device Only to display the devices of which configuration permission has been authorized to you only. Security Control Device, you can view status including network status, remaining battery power, ARC-ID, number of abnormal peripheral devices, etc. You can refresh user menu for more details. Access control device. You can view status including network status, door number, last inspected time, etc. Video intercom device. You can view status such as network status and last inspected time. Doorbell. You can view information including device model, network status, SD card status, last checked time, etc. In the second part, let's take a look at health check of equipment under each site. Select a specific site from the site list, such as Paris. You can filter devices by abnormal only or display authorized device only. If there are security control panel available for upgrading, a number in red will be displayed on upgrade showing the number of upgradable device. In this case, you can click Upgrade button and select Upgradable devices and then click Upgrade button to upgrade selected ones. Click Health Check to open the Health Check window, and then click Check Now to diagnose the devices of the site. When the check-in completed, you can view status of each device in the site. Click Sign Owner to view sign owner information including name, email address, and phone number. Click Sign Manager to view sign manager information including name, email address, and phone number. Click Refresh to inspect all the devices in the site. Select a device and then click Remote Configuration to remotely configure parameters of the devices. Click Refresh to inspect it. As you can view network status, storage status, HDD usage, and overrating recording status, etc. Last part. Exception Center module shows all the history notifications of device exceptions and channel exceptions. You need to set exception lure first. Click Exception Center. Select a site in the site list to view the exception of the devices in this site. You can also select a device or channel to view the exceptions occurred on a device or channel. Set time period. The exception received during last time period will be displayed. Select exception type that you want to check. The exception type includes device exception and channel exception. After filtering exception, click Export and select the format of the file to export this exception records to your local PC. Currently, the supported formats of the exported file are CSV, Excel, and PDF. Click Open in New Window at the upper right corner to open new window of a browser to view the Exception Center. With this function, you can view Exception Center and other pages at the same time. This is an introduction to health monitoring. Thank you for your time.
There we go. All right. So very basic. And then next up, we have become a approved installer, if I can put it that way. So the nice thing about this is to become that itself, you have so much more features on that. So on the HIK ProConnect, you have additional rewards. Not just that, you can also advertise your company logo, which helps benefit you more. So the more clients you add, the more I can say credits you get onto that, the more you can spend those ProConnect coins on different features and different options. So also have a look at that. That might help a lot with your business to have that co-branding with Hikvision. And then this is the QR codes for the different apps. So whether you are using to scan the app normally for the portal itself or for the HIK Connect version, the latest HIK Connect version is there. Right. or the QR code is there. So that's it. Simple, easy, straightforward. After this, we'll have the Q&A if there's any questions. But yeah, thank you very much for staying tuned. Tomorrow we'll carry on with that whole theme. We need to finish this. I would like to showcase a bit more. Again, this is a very nice tool. It looks very complicated, but in the beginning it might be complicated, but as an installer, once you get used to it, you'll see how much easier this makes your normal day-to-day work. So less call outs, less problems and everything from your mobile phone or laptop. All right. So for the guys that would like to ask the Q&A or the questions, and I'll answer as much as I can, please stay behind and then we'll have that discussion. Thank you very much.